Okay, I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm almost out of breath again. I think I was working hard or something, but anyway, I got the mask on. I looked. This is Brian McIntyre, a guy living in long-term recovery because of the 12-step program of Alcoholics Anonymous. But I found a new usage for my face mask. It holds my double chin up if I do it this way. Anyway, but who can tell? Anyway, there I go, touching my face again. I'm not supposed to do that. Anyway. Joining you again here this evening. I've got to want to get a little something in before I started to work online with some folks that are expected any time. I just wanted to pick up on a couple ideas that have been flopping around in my brain. You know, I talk about the accolades of a 12-step program, and I would be remiss if I didn't deal with a very important component of a 12-step program, a different 12-step program called Al-Anon. And, you know, statistics show that those of us that are active in our addictions, we affect about at least five other people, depending on our, and so if you take the population of the country at 350 million and 10% are dependent type folks, and we each affect five, so holy smokes, there's half the country that is being affected by the behavior of a guy like I used to behave. And so I'm going to tell you a little short story about how Al-Anon has affected my life. My former wife, mother of our three children, Janet, she was secretly going to, that wasn't a secret. She just told me when I was still using that she had to go to a meeting. And then another meeting and another meeting. I said, what is all this stuff about? So I immediately became suspicious. And when I heard that it was Al-Anon, as a practicing addict alcoholic, I thought that, man, this is the enemy. My self-centeredness had taken me to the point where I believed that whoever she was meeting with, they were all talking about me. Well, I don't believe they really were, because there was a lot of other people in the same boat as my former wife, Janet, and they were talking about the issues that they had to deal with and just dealing with me. And now let me fast forward a little bit. I affectionately now say that the mother of our three children learned how to disarm me because of Al-Anon with three simple words. After years and years of verbal abuse by me, once physical abuse, I backhanded my wife in a drunken rage, arguing over, I don't know, I wanted to go into a tavern someplace, and she wouldn't go with me. And so I said whatever I said, and it was on Irving Park Road in Chicago, Illinois. I don't know how many years ago. I'm sure she could tell you. Anyway, so I believe today that there are black belts in Al-Anon membership, and I think Janet probably has a double black belt. So, give an example of what happened. When I got cleaned up, I learned a lot of the tools of recovery, and they weren't pliers and hammers and that kind of stuff. They were mental tools, words that could be translated into tools, which you find in the big book. And so as I was going on my journey, and I'm active in AA, well, Janet is active in AA as well, and Al-Anon. And when we divorced, when I got into recovery, after I was 2 years after the divorce before I really got into recovery, and because cocaine took me to my knees, and because we traveled in the same circles, she said to me, Brian, I'm uncomfortable when you introduce me as your ex-wife, And I thought, well, geez, what did I do wrong now? What do I do? And she told me, why don't you introduce me as your former wife? And so I was comfortable with that, and I did that. And that went on for about 11 years. And then I chose to get remarried. And Janet again came to me and said, Brian, I don't want to be introduced as your former wife anymore. Well, I thought, man, am I going to get a raft of stuff on this one because I'm getting remarried? My mind went all kinds of places, but I had the courage to say, well, how would you like me to introduce you? And in the most gentle voice, she said to me, why don't you just call me your friend? Now, where does that happen? What tools was she using? I got an idea. She got them from a 12-step program designed for those that are in Al-Anon. So I would strongly suggest that you might want to consider doing that, because Al-Anon can save your life. Because what happens is a guy like me gets cleaned up and everybody thinks I walk on water. And the person that's been putting up with my behavior for 20, 30 years, they're going to say, what am I, a chopped liver? It's in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. It talks about how the tornado goes through and the farmer comes out of the storm cellar and looks around and everything is in disheveled. And you say, hey, well, it looks like everything's okay around here. Well, that's again part of the self-centeredness of the disease. So I thought it was important that I share that with you. And give me a call if something's on your mind at 815-220-0299. We can direct people in different places. Also on Monday nights, there's a Celebrate Recovery in Streeter, Illinois. And so, whoops, wait a minute, we got something going on. Oh, it's called the coronavirus thing. Oh, well, that's on hold. Call a friend. Call somebody if you're really got the heebie-jeebies. That's an old expression. I don't know where I ever heard that from. Probably my mom. She had a great influence on me. I think I've become her to some degree since she passed away at the age of 99 and a half. So anyway, I'm going to cut things a little bit short here because it's 5:50 and I need to move on and get ready as I'm going to venture into the digital world to connect with some clients online. We've got Zoom, I think, worked out, so we're going to start doing our telehealth groups so that folks that are jammed up and they can't get out, we can reach them on their phones or whatever. There was a few hiccups, and you might see a little news that's not correctly reported about Zoom, and some states that are not letting people use Zoom. Well, there's different passwords that are now incorporated, and nobody caught the mistake I made today, but one person did. When I mentioned about Zoom and the director of Zoom or the chief executive officer, it's not a female, it was a male, and he got up and he was accountable. So that's what I need to do. So I'm going to move on right now, and I hope you have a good, safe night. And again, that number is 815-220-0299. I won't be able to answer it for about an hour, but if anybody needs any help, just give me a jingle. Love to hear from you. That's it for now.